form they are and being paid for by the government. Is that true?
Well, yes, the timing of this is disappointing and cynical because it's at a time when David Cameron is being dogged by questions over offshore trusts, and so the government have put this announcement out, the announcement that they're going to spend taxpayers' money on propaganda, trying to tell us how we're going to vote at a time when, look, Brussels already takes £350 million out of us every week. Why should we be spending more money than trying to justify this? Particularly, at a time when, what could this £9 million be spent on? Could it be spent on our NHS, on more nurses? The kind of things that the public might expect their taxes to be spent on, not government information campaigns trying to bail out the government out of a media crisis that they are in at the moment.
Let's stick to Europe, shall we? What would you suggest? Do you want them to spend government money on the Leave campaign as well, so it's all fair and tidy?
Well, I think we should spend our money on our priorities. That's why I'm voting to leave and to take back control, because I think the £350 million we hand to Brussels already could be better spent on our priorities. But let's be clear, there are two campaigns here. There'll be an In campaign, a Remain campaign and a Leave campaign. They will have designated budgets. They will be there to make the case to the public, and they will decide at a referendum. It appears to me that the government, worried that they might lose this referendum, have instead tried to buy the referendum, but not with mythical money, with people's hard-earned cash, and I think that will really rankle with a lot of people out there.
You don't think the government has a right to try and explain to people what the pros and cons of this referendum vote are all about?
Well, look, we've had 3 months of the government doing down Britain, despite the fact that David Cameron promised that he would campaign on a positive image of what the UK could do outside of the EU. So instead of doing down Britain, they're now trying to spend this money on this propaganda. The renegotiation, the thing that this all harks back to, when David Cameron said he would fundamentally fix the
Leave
problems of the EU.
campaign is not.
Pardon? Is not doing down Britain? No, I think that Britain...
What I said was, so the Remain campaign is propaganda, and whatever you say is not propaganda.
Well, the Remain campaign can put forward their case. There is a budget for them. They have £7 million in this. We've got £7 million from our side, to raise that money to make the case to leave, because we think it's the safer option. What we're seeing there is the government don't think that they can win it on a fair fight. So what they're looking to do is to try and buy this referendum, to try and distract away from the media circus that they've got themselves stuck in over these offshore events. And I think that's really disappointing because, we send a lot of money already to Brussels. We already hand over power to EU judges. We've had reports this week about how the EU is letting in terrorists into the European Union, how our borderless Schengen zone is costing UK security, how that's actually ending up at the border at Calais and Dover. So those things are going on, and so the government have needed to distract away from that. And they're doing that distraction with taxpayers' money, with money which people have taken out and which actually future generations, because don't forget we're borrowing this money all the time, future generations are going to have to pay for. I find that deeply disappointing and in some ways a little bit offensive.
Let's trust the British public and hope they sort it all out for themselves come June. Robert Oxley, thank you very much.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.